Dr. Christian's office.
Vaseline program, the only show in radio where the audience writes the scripts. Stories right from the heart of America, written by the people of America, woven around that beloved American character, the family doctor. Tonight, our prize play is called The Runaway, and it's written by Ronald J. Dunleavy of Kenmore, New York. Jean Hersholt is starred as Dr. Christian, and Rosemary DeCamp is back in her accustomed role of Judy Price. Others in the cast include Jeffrey Silver, Herb Ellis, and Stanley Farrar. Our show is back in Hollywood after our weeks in New York for the Dr. Christian Award. It's easy to make promises for a product, but hard to prove them unless that product really lives up to the claims. We were so sure that every claim made for Vaseline hair tonic is absolutely true that we decided to prove it by a nationwide test. And the result? In 9 out of 10 cases, these men said Vaseline hair tonic not only made their hair look better, but made their scalps feel better, too. This group included men from all walks of life, many of whom had real hair problems, unruly hair, loose dandruff, and uncomfortable dry scalp. And 9 out of 10 of these men said that Vaseline hair tonic helped them to check these problems. That's because Vaseline hair tonic supplements the natural scalp oils, relieves dry scalp and loose dandruff. It makes your hair easier to keep well groomed, makes it look more handsome. So for double care to scalp and hair, why not make your own 10-day test? Use Vaseline hair tonic exclusively for 10 days and see if you don't agree with the 9 out of 10 who say Vaseline hair tonic makes hair look better, scalp feel better. For tonight's very timely prize play, The Runaway. And it begins in Dr. Christian's familiar office in the old White House at the corner of State Street and the River Road. Dr. Christian is dressing the wounds of a very young athlete.
There you are, Butch. All taken care of. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Oh, gosh, no, Doctor. Hardly hurt at all.
Now, listen, don't you go and pull that bandage off tonight. You give it a chance.
Oh, I won't. It's almost time for bed anyway.
I'm glad your mother sent you over. You shouldn't take chances with cuts like that. You had the beginnings of a nice little infection there. By the way, where did you ever get so much dirt in that cut?
I'm playing basketball.
Oh, yes, I should have known.
They start 'em young in these parts.
We were playing up in the loft of Finnegan's old barn. We put a basket at each end. It ain't very big and it's kind of dark, but we can use it any time we want to, even when the school gym is closed up.
Well, you tell the boys to be careful sliding around and falling on those old boards. A wood infection can be pretty nasty.
Okay, I'll tell them.
All right. Sometime I'll come over and watch you play. Sometime when you have an important game.
Gee, that'll be swell, Doctor. Did you used to play basketball?
Oh, I played a little many years ago, Butch. But it wasn't exactly the same as it is today. We had good times, though. We had a player on the medical school team by the name of Hamilton. Red Hamilton, we used to call him. Well, he was the only one of us that you could call a good player, Butch. For the rest of us, it was just good, healthy exercise for a winter afternoon. I wonder where Red is now. Well, you run along home, Butch. Your mother will be worrying.
Okay.
I'll call your mother and tell her you're on the way home, Butch.
Well, I thought you were going to be the last customer tonight, Butch. But it looks like you're not. Someone has just come into the waiting room.
I'll go see who it is, Doctor.
Now, remember what I told you about the bandits, Butch? And tell your mother to give me a call if she has any more trouble with the baby coughing.
I'll tell her. Thanks a lot, Dr. Christian.
Dr. Christian.
Good night, Judy.
Good night, Butch. Doctor, it's a young man.
Mm-hmm. Is it anyone we know?
No, he says he's from out of town. He was just passing through, and he asked at Crimmins gas station for a doctor, and they told him you might be still at the office.
All right, we'll...
Excuse me.
Well, are you back again, Butch? I thought you were gone.
Oh, I forgot my earmuffs.
Oh, let's see. Oh, here they are, right on the chair where you left them.
Thanks. Hey, Doctor, you know that guy that's sitting out there in the waiting room? You know who that is?
I know I don't, Butch. Do you?
Oh, sure. That's Al Novak.
Al Novak?
Sure. I recognized him right away from his pictures.
And who, pray tell, is Al Novak that he should have his pictures in the papers?
Are you kidding? Well, he's the star player on the Midwestern University team.
Oh, well, I should have known.
Sure, that's him. Well, he's a sure bet to be All-American this year. Why, he's got an average of 27 points a game. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to get his autograph.
Oh, no, you're not, young man. You leave him alone and get on home.
Oh, gee, I wanted it to show the other kids. I don't get it. They won't believe me.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Butch. If you don't say anything to Mr. Novak tonight, I'll get his autograph for you.
Gee, will ya? Well, that'll be swell.
All right, Butch, now run along.
Okay, so long.
Well, suppose we take a look at Mr. Novak, Judy. Ask him to come into the office.
Doctor, I don't think his name is Novak. I think Butch was mistaken. This man isn't who he thinks he is.
Well, why do you say that?
Because this man told me his name is Howard Smith.
Howard Smith? That's odd.
Is it? Well, I think Butch just saw an imaginary resemblance to one of his basketball heroes.
No. When Butch talks about basketball, he usually knows whereof he speaks. However, he may be wrong this time. Well, ask Mr. Smith or Mr. Novak or whatever his name is to step inside.
All right, Doctor. Dr. Christian, we'll see you now, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Oh, come in, Mr. Smith.
Good evening, Doctor.
I won't need you anymore tonight, Judy. Now, don't forget to call Butch's mother.
All right, Doctor. Good night.
Good night. Now then, Mr. Smith, what seems to be the trouble? I must say you don't look like a sick man.
It's my right knee. Hurts pretty bad, and I have trouble standing on it.
All right, suppose we have a look at it. There you are, Mr. Smith. I think that dressing will help things out. The inflammation should go away very shortly.
Thanks, Doctor. I was kind of worried about it.
Had trouble with that knee before?
Oh, it's kind of chronic, I guess. I heard it at the beginning of this... I heard it a few months ago.
That little boy who was in here just before you had a kind of minor addition of the same trouble. He got it playing basketball.
That's all? Well, I guess I better be going.
I'll give you something to help you sleep in case the knee drops too much.
Huh? I don't want to sleep. I got a lot of driving to do.
Why, you can't drive anymore tonight with your leg in that condition. You need rest. Good night's sleep.
Can't do it. I got to hit the road. Just tell me how much I owe you.
Well, I'll give you a prescription anyway. Let's see now. How do you spell your name?
Novak. N-O-V-A...
Hey, Novak. First name Al? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Novak, Al.
You're a long way from the university tonight. About 200 miles.
So what?
Nothing. Who's been taking care of that leg for you?
Team doctor.
Well, you should have stayed under his care. What was his name?
Hamilton. Dr. Hamilton.
Yes? Does he have red hair?
Say, do you know everything? Yeah, he's got red hair, or at least it used to be red. Turning gray now.
Old Red Hamilton. Oh, speak of the devil.
You know?
No, we went to school together. I knew he was practicing in that part of the state, but I didn't know he was the university doctor.
Yeah. He's a swell guy. Kind of wasted.
What were you saying?
Nothing. I got to be going.
Back to the university?
No, the other way. I'm taking a vacation. I'm gonna visit some relatives up near the border.
Well, now, don't forget what I told you. Get some sleep. And if you find there's anything else wrong, you give me a ring.
Sure, Doctor. Thanks. Say, how much do I owe you?
Oh, just send me a couple of tickets to one of the best games, and we'll call it square. Good night, Al.
Good night, Doctor. Thanks a lot.
Red Hamilton. Who would have thought it? Must be 20 years since he and I that afternoon...
Does it know that?
Hey, I you still here, Judy?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said good night.
Oh, my curiosity got the better of me. I had to know.
Yes, it was Novak. I didn't ask him, but it slipped out.
Oh.
I knew anyway as soon as I saw him. Tall, powerful boy, athletic type. But he was sick.
Oh, well, so would anybody be with a bruised knee.
Oh, no. That's not what I mean. He's sick another way. Down inside. Oh, I suppose it's none of my business, but I would like to know what that boy's running away from. Because you see, Judy, he isn't really running away from it at all. He's carrying it all along with him, wherever he goes. Hello, Judy. Am I late?
Right on the button. I was in a little early. Doctor, have you seen the morning papers?
No, I haven't had time to look at it yet, Judy.
Well, look.
Basketball scandal rocks nation. Central State players accused of throwing games. Oh, why, that's terrible. What a shame.
Don't you see, Doctor? Novak. He must be mixed up in this, and that's why he's running away. He's afraid of being arrested.
Oh, no, Judy. According to this paper, only Central State players are involved, and Al Novak doesn't go to Central State. He goes to Midwestern. Nothing is said here about Midwestern.
Oh, that's true. I never thought of that.
Well, there's no mention of his name here at all.
Well, I still think there must be some kind of a connection. I don't see why he'd be masquerading under an assumed name. Excuse me. Dr. Christian's office.
Yeah? Wait just a minute, huh?
What?
Hello?
This is Dr. Christian's office.
Yeah, is Dr. Christian there? I must talk with him right away.
Well, just a moment. It sounds like your late patient. He's very much agitated. I bet I'm right.
Let me talk to him.
All right.
This is Dr. Christian.
Doctor, this is Al Novak.
Oh, good morning, Al.
Listen, Doctor, I've got to see you right away.
All right, Al, come on over. I'm not too busy.
No, you don't understand. You've got to come here.
Well,
Look, Doctor, I haven't got time to explain now. You'll just have to take my word for it that I can't come. I can't leave here. You've got to come to where I am, right away.
All right, Al. Just tell me where you are.
I'm at the United States Hotel.
Oh, so you didn't leave Riverside last night after all. What room number?
136. And please, Doctor, hurry. Come on in, Doctor. Come on in.
Well, you're not taking any chances. Do you always keep the door of your room locked?
I'm keeping this one locked. Look, Dr. Christian, I'm in a terrible spot. I don't know which way to turn. I'm trapped.
Trapped?
Did you see a man sitting in the hotel lobby when you came through?
Well, there was Ben Carter talking to the desk clerk. And Mr. Atkins. He was probably waiting for the Rotary Club meeting to begin.
No. I mean a thin little man with his hat on, sitting against the post facing the elevator.
No, Wait a minute. Yes, I did notice such a man. I know who you mean.
All right, now come on over here to the window. There. Look down there across the river road. See?
You mean the man sitting on the bench?
He's the other one. There are two of them. The man in the lobby and the man in the park. They've been following me. They're waiting for me to come out.
How do you know?
Because a car followed me last night when I left the university. Whoever it was tagged me for 100 miles or more before I finally shook them off. But they must have figured out the route I'd take. I'm positive these are the same ones.
How did they know you were here?
Well, they probably checked all the hotels in every town they came to.
Did you register under your real name?
No, but that doesn't mean anything. They pumped the hotel clerks about what the customers look like, and, well, in a little place like this, every visitor stands out like a sore thumb.
Yes, especially if he's as tall as you are.
Yeah. I never should have stopped here last night. I should have gone on. After I left your office, I felt better. I thought perhaps I'd shaken them off. But as soon as I started to get off the elevator, about an hour ago, I saw that man sitting in the lobby, sitting there watching the elevator. And I knew right away who he was. So I came back up and I looked out the window and I saw the other one, as you saw him just now. He was sitting on that bench facing the hotel, pretending to read. They're waiting for me.
And why are they waiting for you, Al?
So they can follow me out in the country and then catch up with me.
And?
And you'd find me in a ditch alongside some lonely road about 3 months from now.
Oh, come now, you're exaggerating.
You think so? Look, I don't know these guys, but I know who they work for. They mean business.
Al, why are they after you? Well,
what do you think?
I think you've been helping to throw basketball games at Midwestern. And other people who paid you to throw those games are afraid you might talk. Isn't that it?
Where'd you get that idea?
Oh, I do get time to read the papers once in a while.
Well, you didn't read anything about me.
Not yet. But it looks as if I might.
All right, so I threw games. So what?
Nothing. It's your business. But don't you think it'll look awfully suspicious? You're leaving school so suddenly?
They can't prove anything. I won't talk the way those boys at Central State did. They had witnesses against them. Against me, they got no witnesses. I'm safe. I'll just say I got tired of school and quit.
Your two friends outside don't seem to take the same optimistic viewpoint about the possibility of your not talking.
Yeah. Look, Doctor, they got me trapped, too. If only I could figure some way to shake them off. Hey, Doctor, you've got to think of a way. I can't stay here in this room. Even if I did, they'd come after me sooner or later. Tonight, maybe. They'd come up and catch me like a cornered rat.
What do you expect me to do?
You must be able to think of something. You said last night you'd help me out if I was in trouble.
Al, why don't you go back and give yourself up?
Give myself up?
Don't wait for the police to investigate you. Tell them the whole story.
And spend the next 5 years in jail?
I think, Al, that if you tell them the truth, you'll find that you'll be given a fair chance. But you see what road you're traveling this way. Why, you'll be getting in deeper and deeper all the time. Even if you get away from these thugs this time, they'll keep after you until they find you again. And if you start making up lies to tell the police, when they start questioning you, you'll just get all tangled up and in the end you'll find out the truth anyway. But it'll be a lot harder on you than if you told the truth without waiting to be caught.
Yeah, it's always easy to talk like that. You're not the one who has to face the music.
I know that, Al. You're the one who has to face the music. Nobody can decide what you ought to do, and nobody can do it for you. That's the way it always is. The hardest decision a man ever makes and the most difficult things he ever has to do, he has to do them alone. If you don't go back, you'll never be happy again. If you do go back, it won't be an easy thing to do. But it's not a question on whether it's the easy thing to do. It's a question whether it's the right thing to do.
No use, Doctor. It's too late. The only way I can get out of this town alive is to call the police. And that'll give the whole thing away. Then they'll arrest me.
Al, I'll make a bargain with you.
Huh?
If I can get you out of this hotel and down to the railroad station, will you promise to take the noon train back to Midwestern and make a clean breast of the whole thing?
Suppose I say no.
Well, then I'll just have to leave you here, and that'll be the end of it as far as I'm concerned.
All right, I promise.
Good. Now let me use your telephone. Hello, operator. Give me the new hospital, please.
Well, hello, Dr. Christian. We got here as fast as we could. The ambulance is right down in front.
Very good, John. And here's the patient.
Patient? He doesn't look very sick to me.
He will be unless we get him out of here soon. Lie down on the stretcher aisle.
Okay. You're the doctor.
Make sure he's completely covered.
Hey, doctor. Do you think they'll suspect anything?
I don't know. It's a chance we have to take. But I'll be walking right alongside the stretcher, so don't worry about it. And by the way, John, when we get in the ambulance, tell the driver to drive to the railroad station.
The railroad station?
Yes, I'll explain it afterward.
Sure thing, Dr. Christian, if you say so.
Gee, I don't know how to thank you, Doctor. But I sure Hey, are you sure they didn't follow us?
I've never been so sure of anything in my life. The one in the lobby is still in the lobby, and the one on the park bench is still on the park bench. I would stake my professional reputation on it. They'll still be there 2 hours from now, and 2 hours from now, you'll be almost back at school.
Yeah.
Don't lose your nerve, Al. You're not only doing the smart thing, you're doing the right thing, too.
I guess you're right. I feel so relieved at having gotten out of this town in one piece that it seems a relief to be getting back. Well, no matter what happens. Well, so long, Dr. Christian.
So long, Al. Oh, say, I almost forgot something. How about giving me your autograph?
Oh, sure. You're the last man in the world I should think would want it.
But this is my fee for taking care of you.
Okay, so long, Doctor.
Tell Red Hamilton I'm going to come up there and see him one of these days, will you?
What now, Dr. Christian?
Is it all right if I drive back to the hospital with you, John? I want to explain to the superintendent why I needed the ambulance. It really was an emergency.
Oh, that's all right, Doctor. We know you must have had a good reason.
What goes? I've been sitting here an hour biting my nails and fending off the patients. What happened to Al Novak?
Judy, I should have known by this time to have respect for your woman's intuition.
What? You mean Al Novak was mixed up in the basketball fix?
Yes, he admitted as much.
Oh, dear. Such a fine-looking boy, too. What gets into them?
I wish I knew.
What's going to happen to him?
He's going to go back and make a clean breast of things. I just put him on the train. From the ambulance.
From the ambulance? Well, but why? His leg wasn't that bad.
No.
Oh, please, Doctor, come on. Now tell me everything.
Well,
what made him confess?
No, he was scared that the gangster behind the racket would get him. He thought they were after him, waiting for him at the hotel.
Oh, I see. So you smuggled him out in the ambulance. Oh, well, I'm glad you made him go back. I think you put the ambulance to good use. Oh, I'd certainly laugh to see the faces of those gangsters who were stalking him when they found that the bird had flown.
Yes. Judy, you know little Mr. Morley, don't you?
Mr. Morley? You mean the fellow that sits in the lobby of the hotel and reads the paper all the time? Of course I do. He's been sitting in that chair by the elevator for years on end.
Would you say he looks like a gangster?
Mr. Morley look like a gangster? Well, of course not. He doesn't look any more like a gangster than Professor Higgins, who sits on the park bench all day and reads his books.
Yeah, neither would I. But it's funny how a guilty conscience can make something look entirely different from what it is. Can create people that don't even exist in the world of reality.
But, Doctor...
Well, Judy, it all worked out for the best. But poor little Mr. Morley would surely be surprised if he knew anybody thought he looked like a Chicago gangster.
And the curtain comes down on another Dr. Christian Prize play with our star, Jean Hersholt, waiting to greet you. But first, here's a message from Judy Price.
Summertime is outdoor time. This month and during the months to come, almost everyone will be doing some work outside the house, in the yard or in the garden. And that means naturally you're giving hard treatment to your hands. Well, when those hands become red and rough, chapped and sore, you'll find a real friend in Vaseline Petroleum Jelly. You'll find that Vaseline Petroleum Jelly brings welcome relief, quickly soothes and eases that rough, chapped skin. Try using Vaseline Petroleum Jelly before you start work, too. This protects your hands and helps keep dirt from being ground into the skin. Makes washing up so much easier. Take a compact tube of Vaseline Petroleum Jelly with you when there's work to be done. The tube's so convenient, so light, won't break, and it takes up hardly any room. And remember when you buy to look for the trademark Vaseline. That trademark, owned by the Cheeseboro Manufacturing Company, is your guarantee of absolute purity.
Thank you, Rosemary DeCamp. And now here is Jean Hersholt.
Thank you very much. The author of tonight's prize play, The Runaway, is a veteran of World War II and a professional radio announcer, writer, and director. He received his Master of Art degree at the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., and is now a freelance writer. Have you ever seen lightning strike? And you know how cerebral palsy strikes, swiftly, crazily, without warning. It could happen to you or to your child. If you should be stricken as a result of an accident or shock or illness, you would need costly and highly specialized care. But would that care be available? It's shocking but true that right now, 96 out of every 100 who are cerebral palsied must go without that necessary care because there just aren't enough facilities. Think of it. Hundreds of thousands of people suffering needlessly when they could be helped. You can help them lead useful, active lives. You can help them become self-sufficient, which is all they ask. Help by sending contribution to cerebral palsy in care of your local post office. Give them a chance. They can be helped if you help. So help today to brighten tomorrow. Next week we plan to present a new prize play called Quiet Evening at Home by Bess Flynn of Chicago, Illinois. We invite you all to join us again next Wednesday evening. Same time and same station. And until then, I'll say good night.
You girls know how dry, dull-looking hair can spoil your appearance just at that important moment when you want to look your best. Well, Vaseline Hair Tonic can solve that problem for you in two wonderful ways. Yes, two wonderful ways to make your hair look lovelier. The first is to massage your scalp briskly with plenty of Vaseline Hair Tonic. If you wish, steam your head with hot towels for a few minutes, then shampoo as usual. See how soft and youthful your hair looks, how much easier it is to manage. And here's another tip. Between shampoos or after a permanent, when the hair is apt to be unruly, smooth on a few drops of Vaseline Hair Tonic before combing. It makes your hairdo behave beautifully, checks any tendency to dryness, gives it added luster. Get a bottle of Vaseline Hair Tonic tomorrow and try it, won't you?
Dr. Christian came to you by transcription.